Your mind is the battlefield. Not the world, not your job, not the people around you. The real war is not out there, it's in here. And most people lose before they even realize they're fighting. Doubt creeps in like fog. Fear takes root like weeds. Regret builds walls. The mind, if left undisciplined, becomes a prison made by your own hands. But the Stoics knew this long ago. They knew that if you win in your mind, you win everywhere. And if you lose in your mind, it doesn't matter what else you conquer. Because the real enemy is your reaction to life, not life itself. Epictetus once said, "You may not control all the things that happen to you, but you can control how you respond." That's where the war is. Right in that split second between what happens and how you choose to see it. Most people don't even see that choice. They live in automatic mode, reacting, complaining, overthinking. They let the noise of the world become the noise inside their head. And in doing so, they give away the one thing they truly own, their mind. But you're not most people. You're here because something in you wants to take back control. Something in you is tired of being pushed around by emotions, opinions, and circumstances you never asked for. You're tired of feeling like your own worst enemy. And you should be. Because the mind can either be your greatest ally or your cruelest tyrant. The Stoics knew that the only way to freedom was through mastery of the self. Not by dominating others. Not by chasing pleasure or praise. But by winning the battle within. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, ruled over an empire, but he knew the hardest kingdom to rule was the one inside himself. He wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that. Strength isn't in muscle. It's not in control over others. It's in mastering your thoughts. Because every fear, every outburst, every moment of despair starts with a thought that you didn't catch, that you let grow until it owned you. Your mind is like a fortress. But most of us leave the gates wide open. We let in every opinion, every insult, every fear disguised as truth. We let our past define our present. We let future anxieties paralyze our action. We let our ego scream louder than our wisdom. The Stoics teach us to stand guard at the gates. To be the sentry of our own peace. To ask, is this thought useful? Is it true? Is it mine? Because not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your energy. You don't get to choose what life throws at you. But you get to choose how you see it. That's the essence of Stoicism. Not coldness, but clarity. Not apathy, but control. When someone insults you, the pain isn't in their words, it's in your interpretation. When something doesn't go your way, the suffering isn't in the event, it's in your resistance to what is. The Stoics knew this. That the mind will torment you if you don't train it. That peace doesn't come from silence. It comes from strength. And strength comes from practice. Every day, you wake up and walk into battle. Not with swords or guns, but with self-doubt, anxiety, anger, and distraction. You're fighting the urge to give in, give up, lash out, or retreat. You're fighting to stay grounded in a world designed to unbalance you. And if you don't fight, you lose. The modern world is built to hijack your mind, to sell you fear, comparison, instant gratification. But the Stoic mindset? It's your shield. It's your sword. It's your strategy. It says, this is hard, good. I'm being tested. It says, that hurt, but I don't have to bleed forever. It says, I failed, but I'm not a failure. It says, I can't control them, but I can control myself. That's a warrior's mindset. That's a Stoic mind, calm, clear, and dangerous to chaos. And don't get it twisted, this isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending nothing affects you. It's about owning your response. Feeling fully, but not being ruled by the feeling. It's about building a mind so steady that even when everything around you is falling apart, you're not. You don't run. You don't explode. You don't collapse. You stand. Because you've trained for this. Because you've practiced self-control like a martial art. Because you've turned reflection into a habit. Because you've made discipline your identity. The battlefield is where most people lose because they expect peace from a world that has never promised it. They expect people to understand them, circumstances to go their way, life to be fair. But Stoicism kills that illusion. It tells you the world owes you nothing. The storm is coming whether you like it or not. Your only job is to make sure your foundations are strong enough to withstand it. And that foundation? It's your mind. It's how you think. It's how you choose. It's how you recover. The Stoics believed in the power of preparation. They practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining the worst, not to live in fear, but to strengthen their resilience. To say, even if I lose everything, I won't lose myself. That's power. Real power. Because it means no one can take your peace from you, or not unless you hand it over. And that peace doesn't come from hoping everything will go right. It comes from knowing you'll be okay even if everything goes wrong. So when your emotions rise, when your mind races, when doubt whispers in your ear, remember, you're in battle. And how you respond in that moment will decide whether you rise or retreat. Whether you dominate your mind or become its prisoner. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom isn't comfort. It's command. It's the ability to choose your response when everything in you wants to react. You train the body by lifting weights. You train the mind by lifting difficult truths. By asking hard questions. By choosing reason over impulse. You train by noticing when you're being pulled by fear or ego or bitterness, and pulling yourself back. That's mental strength. That's winning. Not by pretending the war doesn't exist, but by showing up to it every day, ready. And don't wait for a crisis to start building your mind. That's like building armor after the arrows start flying. The time is now. Right now. Build your habits. Build your stillness. Build your patience. Read. Reflect. Write. Breathe. Choose your thoughts the way a warrior chooses their weapons, with precision. With purpose. With deadly focus. The Stoics didn't live soft lives. They lived in times of war, plague, exile, betrayal. But they weren't broken. Because they didn't depend on the world to stay sane. They made their minds their homes. And no one could take that from them. Marcus Aurelius faced rebellion, sickness, and loss, yet he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. That's not philosophy. That's fire. That's mindset. That's how you win. So what's standing in your way right now? What's screaming in your head trying to drag you down? Is it fear? Guilt? Comparison? Shame? That's your opponent. And you don't beat it by running. You beat it by standing still, by facing it, by questioning it, by refusing to believe every thought that enters your head. You beat it by taking back the throne of your mind, by reminding yourself, "I am not my thoughts. I am the one who decides which thoughts stay and which ones go." Your mind is the battlefield. But you were born to fight. Not with violence, but with virtue. With discipline, wisdom, courage, and justice. Those are your weapons. And if you sharpen them, no enemy, internal or external, can break you. The world will still be chaotic. People will still disappoint you. Plans will still fall apart. But you will remain steady. Why? Because you've won where it matters most. You've won in your mind. And once you've done that, there is no battle you can't face. Remember this. You don't need to control the world to be at peace. You only need to stop letting it control you. So take back your mind. Own your thoughts. Master your response. And walk through life like a warrior of the inner world. Because your mind is the battlefield. And if you think like a Stoic, you win.